So this is the part 2 of the Moola Nakshatra. So they have a way where I was trying to say that they are very different, and they have a different way of showing themselves that they are different from other people. So these are the characteristics of Moola Nakshatra. I mean, the first video I have reverted more towards a Moola Nakshatra and trying to make you understand that the planet Ketu is all about energy which comes from your past. The energy is positive, negative. The results it will give will depend on how the other planets are. Moola Nakshatra is not to be feared. It is a nakshatra which actually makes you rich. It is a nakshatra which gives you wisdom. And let us understand why it gives wisdom is because Ketu is ruled by Jupiter. So Jupiter is a planet of expansion. So both the negative and the positive thing which Ketu has as energy gets enhanced by Jupiter. So that is what is Moola Nakshatra. So it is a very very good nakshatra. So today Saturn is transiting in Moola Nakshatra. Now Saturn is also a planet which is a karmic planet. Saturn is now what is happening in this whole scheme of things in today's Saturn transiting in Moola Nakshatra is that there are 3 planets which are in play: Saturn, Ketu and Jupiter. Now also the first, second, third, fourth pad are Aries, Taurus, Gemini and Cancer. So at somewhere the role of Mars, Venus, Mercury and Moon would also come into role. Mars would be energy, Venus would be desires, and the third pada is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is all about intellect, calculations, and the fourth pada is Moon, and Moon is emotional. Moon is a cheat. Moon can deceive. So many things are attributed to Moon, both positive and negative things. So this is how the transit has to be analyzed, in which pada it is. Suppose today it is in the third pada and in the fourth pada, then there would be a relationship between Mercury, Saturn, Ketu and Jupiter. So you have to see the relationship between Mercury, Saturn, Ketu and Jupiter without going into your, without going into much into where these planets are placed in your horoscope. Let's understand what will they do. Mercury, Saturn, Mercury, like suppose it's the third pada, Mercury is going to tell Saturn that we need to take care of his. Mercury is a planet which takes care of 2 things. One is communication, and the second is Mercury also says, I want this. The Virgo house of Mercury is more about, I want this, let me have it. While the Gemini is about communication, but Virgo, which is the Multrikon sign of Mercury, says, I want this. So Mercury will tell Saturn, I want this. Saturn will talk to Ketu. Okay, is it there? Is it in this thing? Yes or no? Suppose it is there. Jupiter will expand it. Suppose it is a negative connotation of your desire is there. Jupiter will expand the negative connotation. So that is what is going to happen in this Moola Nakshatra, if I have been able to make you understand. And then suppose it is in Moon. Then Moon talks to Ketu. And Moon and Ketu are more about spirituality, more about getting your mind into your past, what you've done, analyzing that. It's the mind. Now, if the mind is well placed, if your mind is okay, then Ketu will say, let me go inside, understand what you've done wrongly, and let me correct it. And Saturn will say, fair enough, let's do it. And Jupiter will help you. But suppose this Moon is a negative Moon. It goes and talks to Ketu. Ketu says, oh no, these negative things are stored in energy and you have come down to pay those debts. Jupiter will say, let's give him some suffering, get him into trouble. Saturn will say, let us do it, let us give him some trouble, let us give him suffering so that his past is wiped out, which Ketu is telling us all about, and Jupiter will magnify it. Now it could be magnifying in terms of fear, it could be psychology, it could be action. That will depend upon how the planets are placed in a horoscope. So generally when you are seeing Moon Nakshatra in a totality, you have to see the planets which are there if you are in Moola. If you have Sagittarius and their planet in Moola, see that. Now that will get energized by at least 3 planets. First is the ruler of the nakshatra, which is Ketu, and the second would be Jupiter and Saturn, which is the transiting planet, which is the first would be Ketu, then Saturn and then Jupiter. Saturn being the transiting planet in Moola Nakshatra. So then you have to see the interrelation in your horoscope between Ketu, Saturn and Jupiter. Now if they are well placed, be sure that this transit is going to, this Saturn in Moola Nakshatra is going to give you a lot. It is going to give you prosperity. It is going to give you happiness. And whenever it is retrograde, then nothing happens. When Saturn is retrograde, what happens is, it's something like, you know, you go to a shop to buy something, but you say, oh, I've left my credit card. You know, it then gives you time to go back, get your credit card and buy the thing. So it gives you time to analyze whether the purchase you were doing was right or not, because it takes you back to the house, makes you pick up this thing, your purse or your credit card, tells you to come back to the place where you're buying and gives you a lot of time to think. So any retrograde planet gives you the time to think on that particular issue, depending on what Sagittarius represents in your horoscope. So that is what a retrograde Saturn does. And when direct, it becomes direct. It actually gives a fulfillment of the things you're thinking about. I mean, if you were thinking about, you know, what should I do, what shouldn't I do, as I gave you an example, it immediately gives you the right connotation of what you should do. Or you can say in astrological terms, if anything just stuck during this time, and your Saturn and Jupiter are well placed in terms of in the D1 chart, then it would lead to fructification. Also see where Ketu is. If Ketu is well placed in a nice house, 3, 6, 11 or any other house, then it would lead to a fructification of these issues. That is what happens. That is how you have to analyze the whole transit, and that is how we do it in Bhrigu Nadi. We do it in Bhrigu Nadi because this is the way we do it. And what is more important for me is not the D1 chart, but actually the D9 chart. Look at all this in the D9 chart. What is signified? That is, which house Saturn is transiting in Sagittarius. It is ruled by Ketu, then it is ruled by Jupiter, right? It will also have your, you know, which pada is there. The pada is like the ignition. It is like the, you know, if you start the car, when you start the car, you need a small kind of a, you know, that spark. That is what the pada Lord gives. It gives the spark. When the spark is there, then the other planets get ignited, and then there's a relationship I have explained you. But see all that, which are the planets, and then the planets which are placed in that, if any, then all these planets, how they are related in D9, basically, in your Navamsha chart, will actually make you predict the, you know, the outcome of an event during Saturn and Moola Nakshatra. So please do not dread Moola Nakshatra, number one. That's why I explained to you about Moola Nakshatra in very, very brief. Do not dread Saturn as a planet. It is one of the most important planets of your life. It is the giver. It is the giver. Jupiter is expansion. It makes you to think more. So, you know, Saturn plays a role which is, you know, which Jupiter, I mean, Saturn is the judge for all what Jupiter places on the table. I mean, if Jupiter places 10 things, it is Saturn which says, let us go with 3, 4 things. And Saturn is again, and Jupiter again is guided with the inner planets, with the other planets are there. So this is a system in the Bhrigu Nadi, this thing, but it also depends on a lot of other things, which are the planets 2nd and 12th, which are the planets which are in degrees moving ahead or moving backwards, which are the planet which is approaching, which is the planet which is going away, which is the round of Jupiter, which is the aspect. An aspect differs in each round of Jupiter, you know. Then what does Saturn do? How does Saturn rounds affect? What do the other planets do? What is the aspect you want to see? So that aspect you have to make that particular, suppose you want to see marriage, then it could be Venus, which plays a very important role. Then you have to rotate Venus for about a year in each horoscope. Then does it come in relationship? Whom does it touch first? If it touches Mars first, then there will be a relationship. There could be sex. There could be, if Moon and Mars are together, be sure that the mind will overrule your sexual desire. It will want that desire to be there. So that is all seen by the other things have to be seen, which is a very complex thing. But this is how I have told you how to see the transits. Just by seeing Saturn and Mool and getting afraid and without seeing any other things is not the right way to see an horoscope. I'll also unravel other things of the Brigunari system in my other methods. It's just that I do not have the time, and sorry for that. That's the problem. But you can visit my website. You can see my videos, which are indicative, because in videos we cannot talk about everything. Neither I'm a professional that I'm doing a video so that I attract you to to earn money. That is not my cup of tea. But videos are just indicators. That's about all. The subject is very deep, and I'm sure that artificial intelligence and robotics would have been there at that time, which has led to the planets and their prediction. Not that Jupiter really affects you. It's a zygote which is formed, and the energies in that zygote are akin to the planets which we talk about. That's a different. It's another subject which needs to be dealt and researched. But yes, someday I'm sure I would meet a lot of people and do service to people. You have my site, you have my videos, you have my books, which are there through Sagar publication, which you can read, and you can also contact me at connectingminds@gmail.com. If I have the time, I will positively answer you. Thanks and bye for now. Appreciate. Today is a friendship day, so stay blessed, be happy, be lifeful, enjoy each moment of your life, and that is what I would say today on the friendship day. Thanks and bye for now. I sign off. Bye.